Hello and welcome back to another game of Dota 2. You are watching StarLadder Star Series Day 28 game 3 of 4 today, and we have got SSD taken on NEXT.kz here for this game, and this will be the last game for SSD this season. I'm joined by Mod. Welcome back.
Well, hello, thank you for having me. Of course, it's a pretty big game for SSD right now, just to get back into the swing of things here, obviously, with their stand-ins. Obviously, a lot of controversy between them and, of course, Roxkiss, but that doesn't matter now because we've got another game here. Bans are going to come out. Already, though, NEXT.kz played up against, of course, not too long ago, was Sigma, and Sigma having a nice game there, but NEXT.kz playing very well as well, so the picks and bans are going to come out here in just a moment.
Yeah, we'll see if they are trying to go for a same level 1 gank kind of thing again. Didn't really work out in the previous game, which was a large reason for them not really getting into the game at all in the previous one. And they're actually taking a lot of their time. I'm wondering if someone is not AFK. Doesn't look like it though. No, looks like they're all here. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is.
Team ban.
Oh well. We are gonna see the OD banned out instantly. SSD banned out the Alchemist. They're gonna force NEXT.kz to maybe go for a bit of a speed pick here. If they burn through all their bonus time early on, then SSD can maybe trick them into making mistakes for that draft. Could happen.
It's a possibility. I'm not quite sure though. But so far it's the Alchemist and the OD, so standard bans. Maybe see the Slug, maybe the Bristleback, maybe VIII. Yeah, so VIII is banned out by NEXT.kz. They don't want that going to super strong dinosaurs here, so I'm surprised. I'm interested to see who's going to play what role here. I don't know what they played yesterday. I'd imagine Arise is probably going to keep himself mid.
Yeah.
And
both Steph and off lane, Pylai Dia support.
10 seconds remaining.
And actually, they had Arise at some point at the carry as well. They kind of swapped around because obviously Zai was there in the last game, but before that it was Sing, and they kind of swapped things around for that as well. They had 3 games yesterday. They did have Bone 7 on the offlane every single time though, and they did have Pylai Dia on supports every single time. But Come With Me swapped a bit, depending on which heroes were available. And kind of can't remember what Zai was playing yesterday.
Well, I think Zai can play carry very effectively. I'm not sure if he did or if he does. He can though. He's actually quite the all-around player. He likes to play mid. He likes to play offlane. He can play solos in any capacity, but he can also carry if necessary. So we'll see if that's what they want to do. NEXT.kz go for the Slark, which Mantis played to great effect last game. Unfortunately, he couldn't do enough, work for him to really get a lead or anything close to a lead. So I like the pickup for NEXT.kz.
Yeah, I agree. It did work out for them to the extent, of course, there's some points where you can't come back from, but he did work that hero quite decently. We still have a Bristleback in the pool, which is something that I think this is the first time today that he actually makes it out of the first banning phase. So we'll see if that's something that SSD wants to go for. Of course, it is Bone 7 offlane. There's still a Clockwork and a Timbersaw. We saw him only play Timbersaw, I believe, yesterday. A hero that he really likes. And of course, Clockwork also one of those heroes that he often plays, and with both still in, they just have the luxury of choice. Though again, they could leave both of them in, and force NEXT.kz to ban out some, and therefore opening up the draft later on, because they were forced to ban out offlane heroes. All depends on what they want to be going for, but SSD, they selected themselves the Crystal Main first.
That's not a surprise, and there really are a lot of things they can choose here to combo up this. They've got their choice of heroes, and whatever they want, really, they can get. You already talked about Bristleback, obviously Clockwork is available, Timbersaw is available. I mean, that's the problem when you ban out the OD, is that you waste a ban on a hero that people are starting to be okay with dealing with and might not even get picked, but I think that, and then the Nyx Assassin was very strange. I think SSD wanted to maybe try to get the OD on their own, so that's why they banned out the Nyx Assassin, which is interesting. I don't know, actually, though, because this is the first ban from NEXT.kz, so I don't know why they ban out the Nyx. Maybe they just don't really like playing against it and playing against a Vendetta, so they go for the Timbersaw, though, which we talked about already a little bit.
Yeah.
It's quite the hero. Wow, look at that.
Well, they were playing against an Invoker previous game, and figured, you know what? That hero is actually quite strong. Let's play that too. If they would have a Centaur now as well, I would really, that would really make my day, to be honest.
Centaur, Bane, whatever you can combo up the Nightmare with, the Sunstrike with, and yeah, I think it works well, so I like it. But I'm not sure if they're going to be super big.
I mean, it's not going to get banned by SSD, right?
Yeah,
Who bans
but
out
it's
the
kind
Centaur?
It's a niche pick. I mean, you need some way to set up the stun right now, and they don't have it. So you know they. I mean, you could still go for it, but like then you're copying a strategy which someone else has played effectively. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like that strong of a hero. Like, okay, yeah, I've got damage from stun, and I've got obviously double edge, which is nice as well, return, which is good, and stampede. But none of those. Are you really going to pick a centaur over somebody that's a little bit stronger, that's been picked more often as of recently? I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure if it's that good of a hero. I mean, I'm not convinced yet.
All depends on what kind of value they have for this game. I mean, we didn't really take a look at the scores just yet, but SSD, like I said, this is their last game. They've won 11 games, lost 5. They don't have a head-to-head advantage against Roxkiss nor against Fnatic, so there is probably no way that they're going to make it to Kiev unless Fnatic loses their last game, in which case, I don't think they will make that out either. So, should not be going to Kiev regardless, even if they still had a chance, considering they are officially disbanded, obviously. For NEXT.kz, they are not going to go to Kiev either. They still need to play 2 more games. One is right now, the other one is tomorrow. So nothing is really riding on this game for either of the teams, apart from reputation, apart from having a good game and showing off their their power, showing off what they can do. And maybe that's a perfect opportunity for them to try out the Centaur. Yeah, I'm a Centaur fan now, as you can imagine.
Yeah, apparently so, but still, I'd like to see some other sort of
Shadow
experimentation.
Demon pairs up nice with the Centaur. I mean, they give it their own twist.
It also pairs up nicely with the Invoker Sunstrike, which I think is the reason they picked it.
And with the Slark Pounce, you can just stand
That's
and
yeah,
pounce.
yeah.
Oh, where's the
That's a Weaver.
That is indeed a Weaver.
I like SSD's draft a lot more. I think you're putting too many eggs in the basket of the Invoker, and now they go for the Leshrac, and this is... We saw this a little bit earlier on in the season. Split Earth is a nice stun to hit up with the Shadow Demon's Disruption, and Leshrac's a good pusher, but I'm not sure this is the right game for it.
Yeah, because even, like, for example, take Weaver. You disrupt Weaver. He is always going to be able to press that Shakushi before he gets stunned. There's no way. That's not going to work out. I mean, he might still get stunned, but he will be invisible while stunned.
Reserve time.
So you're still going to have your detection. I'm kind of wondering like how this is going to work out for them. And Timber saw he's going to be tanky enough to survive through most of it. It's very difficult to take down the crystal, like anybody but the Crystal Maiden and Chen on the side of SSD with the Shadow Demon and Shrek combination. So they have to have something that pairs up really nice with that. And if it's not going to be a Centaur, I mean, okay, fair enough, that probably won't be. But then there's always a hero like a Gyrocopter, who also kind of benefits from that. Just disruption, walk up towards the target, rock-up barrage afterwards, which is going to be very decent, of course, as well. Just someone that pairs up nicely with the Shadow Demon setup, basically. And Elder Titan, Bristleback and Elder Titan just got ignored, almost, for the entire first part of the game.
Yeah, and Bristleback actually still fits in NEXT.kz's lineup, too. Not so much in SSD's lineup, unless they want to send him mid, which is possible, but... NEXT.kz can throw him in offlane and then do a defensive tri-lane, or do an aggressive tri-lane and do so safely in Bristleback or something like that. So they have room to maneuver with that hero, and the fact that it's still available is not necessarily mind-boggling, but it's you got to be careful with that. So
yeah, that is definitely definitely true. SSD, they still have 30 seconds left in their own bonus time, and might be wanting to use it. I mean, they are having their last pick right now. I'm kind of missing, well, I normally am not a fan of a carry weaver, or a main carry weaver, though he does need his farm. They kind of miss their mid laner, though. And I hope that's going to be a mid laner that can transition into being a semi-carry later on, which was the one thing that I wanted to point out. And as we already said in the previous game, basically anything can do okay up against an Invoker. I'm thinking about maybe a Shadow Fiend or a Dragon Knight, things that transition well into the mid to late game.
Yeah, semi-carry's fine. Well, Storm Spirit sort of fits that role.
Yeah.
He's more of a ganker, obviously, and is an initiator, and it works well, I think, in this scenario, because Storm Spirit can really catch Leshrac, Shadow Demon out of position, even Slark as well. So I think this is a nice pickup coming through. It allows them to do more damage with Weaver, it allows you to do more damage with Timbersaw, keeping heroes in the same position. I like this pickup a lot, but Doom comes out for NEXT.kz, so they just decided to forego the Bristleback.
Yeah, Doom. Doom. They used it in a previous game as well. It looks like they didn't change that much of their previous draft, apart from then the Invoker mid, obviously. I did like the Doom. I do hope that he's gonna have a better time than in the previous game though, because obviously he didn't really get that much done, and he was in a pretty tough lane. I also like the blade that he has, the Doom that is.
Yeah, I noticed that last game. That's pretty neat. It's an infernal pack blade.
Like it tracks how many enemies he's doomed. It's really cool.
That's pretty nifty. It's only 14 though, so.
It was one in the well, it was in the Frostivius pack that he got from the shards things.
Yeah, so it's a little new item.
New item. I do like it. Showing it off here on the first game, or second game rather. Let's take a look at who's playing what. Of course, once again, you're watching StarLadder, Star Series, day 28 of 29. That means that tomorrow is our last day of the group stages. NEXT.kz, their second last match of this season, will have Amazing playing the Shadow Demon this time. Mantis once again on the Slark. Equal once again on the Doom, with the Leshrac played by Reeves. And then we have one left. It is the Invoker played by ZXC, I believe. Am I right with that?
I think you're right. I haven't checked, but we'll assume that's okay. And if we're wrong, then we apologize. But on the side of SSD, on the Timbersaw, it's going to be Zai, of course, that up-and-coming player.
Interesting.
Zai.
Zai?
Oh, he's probably dead.
He is most likely dead. The pounce comes out as well. He's not going to be able to run from this. First blood goes to Amazing, and that is a way better start than NEXT.kz had in the previous game. They actually are able to make it right. And they're going to get the haste rune to Reeves, which is pretty decent because he can throw a lot of harassment, and he's actually looking to help out mid by the looks of it.
Yeah, and that should be good. But to keep you on with, of course, the introductions, Arise will be on the Storm Spirit. In the jungle, we'll have Come With Me on the Chen. Up at the top lane, you'll have Aubrey Plaza, aka Pylida on the Crystal Maiden, and then to round it all out, Bone 7 will be on that Weaver top lane farming. Yeah,
Bone 7 on the carry role is interesting. Compared to, of course, we saw him yesterday only on the Timbersaw on the off lane, but Zai will take that role here, and not off to a great start, but Timbersaw is one of those heroes that doesn't really care too much about how he does as long as he's getting levels. So as long as he is able to get some levels here on the bottom lane, he should still be having a decent game, and he is getting levels, he's getting the experience, he's getting harassed a bit, but he did pick up his level 1 in reactive armor, so he can take that harassment. Amazing will just be annoying rather than anything else.
He's actually pushing him back a fair amount, which is annoying to Zai, and Zai getting first blood is also very, very frustrating, so he'll have to play a little bit more passively than he would like to until he can maybe get a point in Timber Chain, and then get out of there if he gets in any sort of trouble. It's important to note Bone 7 playing a Weaver. That's not uncommon for an offlaner to play that hero. Offlane Weaver is something that happened a lot, like in the last couple of months. So he's probably familiar with this hero, and I mean he's Bone 7, so I'm sure he's played numerous carries, in pub games, what have you. So he's already at 9 last hits. He's doing pretty okay. 6 last hits going for the Storm Spirit, and 8 going for the Invoker now. And so far this matchup should go, I think, for the Invoker here until Storm can get some levels, some experience, and just spam the static if necessary, but I think the Forge Spirits will do very well up against the Storm once those gets leveled up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what kind of build Invoker goes for in this game. I believe ZXC is the kind of Invoker that goes for the Hand of Midas still. And we talked about which heroes would still get Hand of Midas. Invoker is actually one that would get it, mostly of course for the levels, to get ahead. Make sure that he gets himself some extra punching power there with his Exort later on as well. It all depends also how much experience he gets early game and how greedy he can be. If he already gets ahead in levels by just being mid and actually dominating mid, then that would be of course better. He actually does have Reeves and Amazing ready to set up for a kill. The drawing on the minimap comes out that they want to try and go for a backstep from the side. They might actually be able to use an Invis rune for that, but there is a ward on the high ground, so they wouldn't make it on the smoke duration, so they end up just going for Zai again. Let's see if they can make it happen. The disruption will come out. The split earth will come out from Reeves as well, as Mantis will be ready to pounce that. Let's take a look. Sunstrike as well. Zai will get picked up, and that is a kill for Invoker. AKA he shares in the experience for that kill. That's important.
Yeah, they're really just catching Zai out of position here. That's the second time. Obviously, the first was during, going for a rune, but that's, if they can continue to do that, if they're not ganking mid, that's fine. You don't necessarily need to gank a Storm Spirit, but ganking Zai, gank something. Rotate, get kills, get experience, make room for your carries, and that's exactly what they're doing, so I don't mind this. Equal's going to go ahead and pause. Also important to know, when they were drawing that on the map to say, hey, wrap around mid and try to get this kill, that was Equal drawing it. So Equal's directing everything while he's up in the top lane, which is really nice for a player to do that, so.
Yeah, I like that too. That is actually, because he can't really do that much here in the top lane. Actually already made it to level 3. That's nice. It's nice to know as well. I mean, obviously we know that ZXC, I believe, is the one to draft for NEXT.kz. Or was it Mantis? Mantis is not the draft.
Even if the drafter is different, you know, someone directing you, even if it's not the captain, is always nice. It's just more people talking about what's going on in the game and more people being involved. And that's what you need to do as somebody who's in a solo lane.
Yeah.
You need to be able to react.
Because otherwise you're playing your own game, basically. You're playing League of Legends.
Yeah, agreed.
If you're playing on your own lane... And I actually saw a Reddit post at some point where someone said, oh my god, we're like, they're attacking our tier 3 tower on the bottom lane, and someone replied, well, sorry, it's not my lane.
Thanks. Unbelievable.
Like, that happens, and that's, yeah, it's great to be involved if you're the offlaner, if you're normally not that involved. And actually, Equal is able to harass StarLadder here away. I mean, I was gonna say the supports of NEXT.kz have a lot more roaming power, roaming potential than SSD has, purely because Chen needs a bit more, and before he can actually start doing that. Don't get me wrong, once he is able to do that, he can be immensely strong. But before that is there, then you know, he'll be just farming, and then also of course Crystal Main by herself can't do anything. But if Equal can disrupt a bit of that jungle, then it will even make it take longer for those supports to be ready to rotate around.
I think Doom will be ready to rotate soon. He's trying to get his Wildkin. I mean, you look at the stack. This is Wildkin Central here. That is a huge stack.
You mean come with me then, not Doom?
Yes. That's what I meant. Sorry, I don't know
Doom
what
is rotating around. I mean.
Yeah. No, Doom is actually with his Invis rune. He might get a kill. No, he really can't.
SSD saw him pick it up though.
Okay, so yeah, there's no way he's gonna get it. Come with me is just praying for Wildkin right now, and he just can't get it. He has no luck apparently, and
wow.
I mean, if he gets a Wildkin right here, that's like 2 levels from this camp alone. Not necessarily 2, but it's a lot of experience, a lot of gold. That'll be his mech done once that camp is obliterated, so he's gonna have to wait for the next... please, Wildkin, please.
That must be so frustrating.
It really is, because you know you have, like, it's a bank, it's gold, saved up, just ready to go.
Mid lane, disruption coming out, Arise is gonna be the target, but the Vortex hits first, no disruption! Oh, yes, a disrupt himself, the Splitter still comes out though! Sunstrike, let's see if they can make it happen, nope, they can't, and it's Invoker that gets dropped, Arise just got a double kill, he will get picked up by Reeves in the end, but oh my god! Getting a double kill before dying, that is the most gone wrong gank that NEXT.kz has had in a while.
Yeah, that is definitely not worth it. That's the definition of just really bad. Like, the fact that Arise was able to get that kill, he used the trees very effectively, the Fog Vor, obviously, making sure he was able to get, you know, in position where he could just jump on the Shadow Demon without any trouble, pull him in. The disruption came out at the end. They had to use the splitters, obviously, as well, and it did hit, but Ball Lightning, the amount of damage that came in from Overload and Remnant were just way too much, so that space created for a lot of heroes in the map for actually SSD. That's going to give Zyrum to actually get experience and farm down the bottom lane finally. He's actually down 3 levels, or actually 2 at this point, to Mantis, who's doing very well. The top lane is getting pushed in. You look at what Bone 7 is doing. And in the jungle, can come with me, has to resort to using Shockwave to farm this.
I saw it, like, I checked, and there's only, like, normally as a Chen, you're so happy that there are centaurs all around because, you know, the good stuns and all that, and the tankiness and the pushing power, but imagine the frustration. I can imagine the frustration. But he's almost got the wave down. He's level 6. He's got his Hand of Midas.
Wow. He should have just built mech. Come with me. Why just not build a mech? Why are you building a Midas on a Chen? I don't like that at all.
Timbersaw is in a lot of trouble. Looks like he's gonna get picked up. The Sunstrike is gonna be too late. There's too much damage coming out from the level 3 Edict already.
Yeah, and that Soul Catcher also doing a lot of work as well with Amazing. So Zai is just getting caught way out of position here. He's only sitting on level 4 right now. He's the same level as support. I mean, this is a big problem. Is you need your Timbersaw to be able to do things, and right now he's not. So NEXT.kz, if they're not winning any of their lanes, which they are, then they're still feeling pretty okay about the fact that they're shutting down Zai completely.
Mantis up on Mantis might be in trouble. He has still got 8 stick charges though. He will be forced to use them when he comes out. Does use them, has got a lot of mana, has got his Shadow Dance up as well if he wants to. Oh, he pounces, no longer has mana for the Shadow Dance. Now he does. Now he runs. They're still chasing him down though, and the Shadow Dance is only level 1, so he will be back up in just a moment, and he will get picked up there. Nice kill. Goes away of Pylai die. Oh well. That's at least something. By the way, the Invoker still goes for Hand of Midas as well. He has it complete, so he's going to try to get ahead on those levels. But that was NEXT.kz attempting to go for a bit of a push to try and take something in return for that tier 1 on the top lane. But they only put this tower in the Nigh range, and That's actually pretty bad right now. Bone 7 could turn around and deny it. Bone 7 also with the hand of Midas. It looks like we're back to Midas. You shouldn't have said that in the previous game.
Yeah, I really shouldn't have. I jinxed it, I think. Sorry, everybody. We
Yeah.
got Midases all day, so... Still, though, I don't mind the Midases in this game, and the game should still be very quick, I think. Midases will allow, obviously, Weaver to get more farm, and it'll take maybe 10 more minutes, but once the Midases start kicking in, the game's going to start going fast and furious, I think. But Invoker looks like he might get jumped on mid, as here's Pilot looking to roam in with Frostbite.
Yeah, he has a Centaur to back him up as well. Vortex, Centaur creeps not even needed. That's gonna be a kill. Actually, the Shockwave actually still gets the last hit by the looks of that. Oh, Timbersaw coming in looking for Equal, looking for the Doom. He does have a stun. He can turn around, stomp, and try to run from this. But Bone 7 did not get hit by the stun, and the bug is still eating away, and that's gonna be a kill for Bone 7. By the way, he's saying that he loves Tauriel, but isn't that the elf from The Hobbit? The
think...
Wood Elf?
Yeah.
The one with the reddish
I don't know
hair?
if that's the spell. Listen, I don't know, but that sounds right. We'll just go with that. We'll go with that.
Okay.
It was a good movie, by the way.
It was a good movie. It was very long, though. Like, the end was better than this. Like, at some point you just realize, okay, there are some points in the story that just have to be told. Because otherwise, you know, you're missing out on important stuff, but you can tell that the director was in a rush.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shame, but oh well. It was a good movie in the end. Stupid ending though, as in I don't like open endings, but I think you should expect that. Cliffhangers are so annoying, but it's
they really are.
A trilogy. So.
Yeah, but like it's just another way to get money out of people, and I mean you're gonna get the money anyways. You don't need to make it like a cliffhanger. Like have arcs.
Yeah.
People don't make arcs enough in modern stories, so it's frustrating.
I agree. People are gonna go to the movie anyway, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the previous movie wasn't really that much of a cliffhanger.
No, they left it open, but it wasn't a cliffhanger. Like that part of their journey was complete. You know, it wasn't like something's gonna happen now. No, like you knew something was gonna happen. They're just like we're done with this part of the journey. Now we got another part of the journey to go.
Yeah, stupid. And I feel like when I was watching the movie, I'm without spoiling anything, I actually thought at some point maybe they made it into 2 movies because this and this could happen, and then the movie will end. And then everything is done. Everything is gone.
Wow. Sadly, it wasn't the case, but...
It wasn't the case. We do have a smoke up for NEXT.kz here. Wanted to go for Bone 7, who was thinking he's safe because he has a ward right there, but no. They look for the disruption, and that's too late. Sentry ward still goes down, but the disruption is not going to happen. Amazing gets blocked by creeps. In the meantime, in the middle lane, though, it is a battlefield where Slark was the one to fall victim to Arise's Storm Spirit.
Yeah, that was all because Invoker got caught out of position. He did survive, and it almost seemed like SSD were going to chase way too much, but Arise did the smart thing. He ball lightning down to the low ground. Mantis was trying to pick off Aubrey Plaza, Pilot, but then he just threw on his freezing field. And yeah, you've got Shadow Dance, but that doesn't matter when you have AoE damage to deal, so...
You're still going to get hurt, and if the explosions are a bit lucky from the Crystal Main, you're still going to die.
Mm-hmm.
We do have NEXT.kz. I mean, they are behind on gold, almost 3k gold. A bit more on experience, actually over 5k experience, which is a bit more significant, but the gold difference is not really that big just yet. And they haven't really had their peak yet in their heroes. Like the Doom needs still a bit more, we have got the Invoker to still need a bit more, the Slark is not entirely done yet, wants to go for a Shadowblade before he can really start doing things. And I feel like they are definitely not yet out of this game, though. Of course, SSD does have a big lead, and also they still need to meet their peak, of course, for their heroes.
Yeah, and I think because they went for Midas on the Invoker, unlike what we saw in the last game, it's going to take a bit longer for NEXT.kz to start getting up and running here. And with SSD, you've got 2 Midases, yes, but you also have an early game lineup because of the Storm Spirit who facilitates ganking early on. Weaver doesn't necessarily need any items to be effective early in the game with Shikuchi. Timbersaw is Timbersaw, and Crystal Maiden is Crystal Maiden. So, also important to note is that Zai's caught up very effectively. He's actually level 8 now, so he's ahead of Doom, in fact. So that's a very nice job coming out. Top lane, Reeves is getting doped a little bit, but not too much. Bone 7 will back off, and we'll continue on with the game, the farming game, if you will.
I have to say, the level difference is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Storm is level 11? Like 2 levels higher than the one with the Midas. Invoker, like I was saying, he needs the Midas to get ahead in levels, but he is actually still level 9. And that's a scary difference right there, as we do have Storm rotating. He's going for his Orchid. He wants to go for Equal without his Orchid still. Equal, who almost has got his drums ready. Looks like some Forge Spirits will scout out that there are people waiting in the wing now.
Look at Arise's positioning. He's ready to ball lightning in at a moment's notice.
he's so
But this is behind a tower, and they have 3 heroes there, so he's gonna actually have to back off and maybe think about going mid. And Invoker might be another target here. He still doesn't have a point in Wex. He went for 4 experience at, of course, level 4 points in Exort, and Quasp achieved those 2 Forge Spirits, which is really nice to have. He just got those, actually.
Yeah, but you kind of would want to have a Wex at some point to have that escapability. In comes a Zip, in comes a Vortex, and in comes a double damage from kill, I would say. Test of Faith, actually, from Come With Me takes it. That's just a very... Like, Crystal Maiden, did she even get an assist there? Didn't look like it, as Slark goes down still on the bottom lane. That was a solo kill. Zai takes a lot of damage there, but he's able to make it out alive. I think that was the first time that Zai actually... I mean, the first kill, obviously, but also the first time that he was able to win an engagement with that Slark. As the Split Earth comes out on a rise, they might be able to take him down. The Edict is taken through, but they already lost their Shadow Demon, and they are looking to lose their Leshrac as well. That's a double kill for Arise. The Hand of God comes out to keep everybody of SSD up. And the Dire Courier actually still got killed in that. Where did that one die? Not that one. I want to see the Dire Courier. Which was...
It died here, behind the...
Yeah. The one with the mean-looking guy on top of the unicorn.
It seems to be it was the tower that actually killed the courier. That's a big misplay. It only has wards on it, which I guess is fine. It's actually sentry wards, so not even that big of a deal. So, it's just a little bit of a frustrating play coming out. I'm sure SSD's like laughing about it a little bit, but they have quite a bit of a lead here. They took down 4 heroes in the last fight. They've got a big net worth lead, a big hero lead as well, level lead, excuse me. So, the game
disruption.
is...
It's gonna be a Crystal Maiden Sunstrike, but the Sunstrike is a bit too late. A zip in from Arise is still there. Goes for Amazing right now. And that's gonna be a Split Earth dodged by the Ball Lightning. Amazing still alive for the moment as Mantis looks to find some people to take down, but it's Leshrac and Shadow Demon that got picked off by Zai. As I said, he doesn't need anything more than levels. Who cares about not having farm if you can just whirling death those supports to death? And that's gonna be the Invoker and a Slark picked up. Only the Doom left alive, and he's still trying to get something going. He's still trying to kill off Arise, but he is not going to be able to do it, not fast enough. He's still fighting with Zai, but can he actually make that happen? He has no level depth. He has got a Doom again in a couple of seconds, but he can't chase this. I mean, he's just totally outnumbered.
Well, whoa, that was a smart play from Zai. Wow. That was impressive.
Up to the high ground, realizing that Equal was still chasing him down. Talking about people chasing people down, Amazing gets chased down by the... Whoa, Bone 7, he's actually gonna die. He could not time-lapse anymore. The Edict damage with no creeps around. Painful. Level 4 Edict.
Yeah, and he could have gotten very close to his Mantis, or excuse me, his Lincoln Sphere. He's actually at 1200 gold. If he buys his Ultimate Orb, then that Lincoln's is done. So, a little bit of a misplay to dive that far, and that's just Bone 7, you know, just being aggressive there. And well, now Chen has his mech, he's got his Midas, he's got boots, and 2,000 gold in the bank. So, Come With Me is actually the most farmed hero on the map, surprisingly enough. And a lot of that comes because he had that huge stack, obviously, and I was impressed. He used that Shockwave from the Satyr Hellcaller to clear that entire stack, so I gotta do that from now on.
Yep. I was like, did we actually see any Wild Wings yet?
I don't think so. I've seen
on
zero
the Dire
of them.
side, that is, because I didn't check the Radiance. Oh, there's Radiant side Wild Wings.
Yeah, if he just goes over to the Radiant, he can have a Wild Wing, which is a little too late. I mean, I don't know if you really want that at this stage in the game. I guess it's not bad to push the waves out, obviously, and, well, it's never a bad thing to have one, I suppose. Get more armor, too.
Well, we do have in the Dire, or in the Radiant Jungle, a Rise with a Haste rune and an Invisibility rune, because just, you know, 2 runes, why not? It's kind of nice. He is just going to try and see if someone comes to defend the tower, though, which doesn't seem to be the case, because there's 4 heroes of NEXT.kz rotating middle instead. I mean, they've got that Edict, which is a lot of pushing power there, as they want to try and take down Pilot Eye. They will be able to do that, that's nice. Hand of God comes out a bit too late. Well, it heals out the creeps, which is great and all, but they will still lose the Centaur. But they have an Edict level 4, but they haven't been able to take down more than 1 tower, and that tower got denied, so not really all that successful yet.
A lot of that is because you see how much pressure SSD is putting on. They're the ones dictating the play, so...
Oh,
wow.
Denied Arise the plays. The plays are there.
And see, when you try to push, that happens. So, what do you do in that scenario?
I don't know. Well, they doom up Arise. That's what they do in that scenario. And they also go for Come With Me, but he's able to force himself out. The Sunstrike will miss. In comes the Crystal Maiden again. Might be in a bit too aggressive here. And Mantis, oh, freezing field again. Disruption will keep him safe for the moment. Eco's still in some trouble. They did interrupt the Crystal Maiden's freezing field, which is great. And the Dark Pact will come out as well. And the last hit goes to Mantis. Pounce misses Come With Me, so Mantis has to run away from that again. Cold Snap still comes out from the Invoker, but he has a Force Staff and he will be okay. As Invoker just TPs out under the safety of a tier 3 enemy tower. Bone 7 though, at the back of the fight, just picks everybody up that decides to go home. Shadow Demon was first. Slug now gets picked up by the Timber Saw on the other side of the map, doing exactly the same as Bone 7. Nice regen rune. But it's not going to be allowed to run for very long. Bone 7 is not going to give this up. Oh! Oh, he should have given that up. Time lapses himself away. Will get himself out. That Lincoln's.
Yeah, that was almost really bad for Bone 7. Luckily, he's got his Lincoln Sphere. I think he leveled Death. If he leveled Death and had enough mana using the Snare, he's probably dead. So he is alive, however, and he's getting farm now. So is everyone else, though. I mean, getting back into it is NEXT.kz. They lost a couple of heroes, though. I think actually they only lost Slark in that engagement, really. They take a tower. The tier 1 obviously got denied, and well, SSD, they had to play a bit passively there for a moment, but now that arises back into it. He's got his Orchid up, so he's ready to go ahead and fight. Timbersaw gets his Bloodstone at 18 minutes in, which, with the way Zai started, is not a bad timing at all. And this game should start going SSD's way pretty significantly whenever they want to start pushing. I mean, they've got that Lincoln Sphere. Maybe wait for another damage item up on Road 7 and then decide to go for the push.
And they smoke up for NEXT.kz. They're kind of in desperate, or dire straits, maybe on the Radiant side here. That's better. They're in dire straits. That's bad, right? Being in dire straits? Because am I just naming a band? Because I'm also naming a band. Ooh, they find a Rise though. Split Earth, let's see if it's in time. Sunstrike, yes, that is in time. Hand of God cannot save you from that amount of burst damage coming out. I mean, they have definitely got that pick-off potential. It's just that SSD has got that too, and they have got more teamfight potential. The Demonic Purge still comes out. Is there going to be another Sunstrike? No, still on cooldown. Zai is actually trying to turn this around. He's able to get at least one. Looks for the second. One Whirling Death. Yeah, that's 2 kills already before he dies. Maybe Crystal Maiden still gets picked up there as well. As Invoker comes in from the side, Crystal Maiden will indeed go down. 3 for 2 in the end. But that could, like, 3 for 2. Those 2 people died to the same hero. That Timber Saw. It's just, I mean, Timber Saw got shut down so hard early on in the game.
Yeah, he really did.
Do we see anything from that back here? No.
It doesn't matter if you shut him down, as long as he gets some, like, you need to shut him down a lot harder than that to really shut him down. I mean, like, you need to make sure he doesn't get any levels, continue to gank him, not stop. And that's something they didn't do. And something they're not doing is dealing with Bone 7, who still is getting quite a bit of farm. What is important to note is that the Doom is getting farmed. He's getting tanky. He's got a BKB now. Actually, it's done as soon as he buys the recipe, and that's a big deal. Slark is getting farm as well. He's got a Shadow Blade. He's ready to fight whenever. Invoker is sitting at a 4-staff, going for a Scythe next, which is a very, very smart pickup coming out from the Invoker now. And, well, in NEXT.kz are getting the items. This game's not out of the woods just yet for SSD. They're not done. They've got a long ways to go. I
do like that. Oh, what? What? Oh, come on. They just checked where the ward was. I mean, they know that he's still, that they are still visible. Ah, I can't believe they missed that one. As they do take down a Rise on the top lane. But, I mean, really, Mantis just spent a minute or so deciphering where that ward was placed. Because obviously his Shadow Dance disappeared. And he decided that it was like, that he had to place the ward there. But it just doesn't scout out the ward. I can't believe that's just so sad. That's 200 gold wasted.
Yeah, it's a bit of bad luck there. What's important to know was Rise was actually going in the top lane with Bone 7. They almost got a kill on equal. And then Reeves came in and hit a huge Split Earth again, which he's done a lot of. Like, he's really hit his Split Earth, so they've been on target. You can't pick Leshrac if you're not going to hit the Split Earth, so. And this is what I love about Leshrac, is it's sort of a skill shot too, and it's one of my favorite heroes for good reason. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's got pushy potential, and it's just a strong hero altogether. He's going to be going for a BKB next, and he needs the recipe to finish it off.
Yeah, and then he's going to be a lot stronger also, of course, with a lot more mana, or at least should be having a lot more mana at some point. What's he doing with that random vitality booster there?
Yeah, it's survivability. He's sick of dying all the time to Zai.
Where's his mana boots? That would be what... Like, it looks to me like he bought the wrong orb. Mana boots are so nice on the Shrek. Like, where's he going to get his mana from?
You know, it's true. They do need some arcane boots right now. They don't have them, and Maybe it was a mistake, but I don't mind the random vitality booster.
That's
I think
true.
it's a nice pickup. I think just being more tanky. He also has, I don't know if it's really necessary because you already have 2 bracers already, so why pick up the VIP booster? I guess just to be even tankier. He won't die that much anymore. He'll live just fine. And I think after that double kill that happened, I think that's when they started saying, let's buy some tankiness.
Yeah, let's not die to the Timber Saw anymore. That's definitely something to do. Mantis might be in some trouble here because SSD has let go of the hate train. And they go for Mantis. Shadowblade out. We'll be okay. And he saw everybody there too. Pink comes out. They know that they're there. Reeves. They're gonna go in. Split Earth and Deafening Blast missing. Arise goes one way. The rest of the team of SSD goes the other. And they try to take down Mantis. But he goes in a Shadow Dance. Tries to take down Come With Me. Forcing out the Hand of God. Freezing Field comes out from Pylite Die. And he just makes sure that nobody can run into that fight anymore. Slark and Leshrac already fallen for that trap. The rest of the lineup of NEXT.kz trying to run. Still a slow there for Invoker, but he can force himself away also from the trap coming out from the Troll. 4 heroes still here. They did manage to take down the Timber Saw, which is great and all that, but there's still an advantage for SSD, and they look to press the issue here. And tower's almost down, so why not?
Yeah, they should be able to take it, no problem. And on the back of a good team fight as well. They've got everyone pretty much at full, and that was just really well played. They split up the team. Arise, jumped in with his ball lightning over, of course, near the side shop, the secret shop, and then the rest of them were fighting in the lane. And then the freezing field came out, which came really to the tide of any sort of fight that you've got going. So Crystal made with a very smart play, and the rest of SSC really just playing sound Dota. And you can see Come With Me was actually being a bit aggressive there at the end. He wanted that kill. But the force staff was there from the Invoker, and it's going to be tough to lock him down from now on. So with the push, they've got 2 Centaurs, they've got a Dark Troll Warlord, and it looks like they're going to try to take this tower down, and they really should. I don't know what they can do to try to defend this. They can try to maybe deny it, but it might be tough here, as everyone is here except for Zai for SSD.
Yeah, Zaya can be back here very soon. Of course, it's Bloodstone, not dead for a very long time. Equal though, turns on his BKB, looks for the Crystal Main, and will be finding that kill. Invoker still got picked up by Arise though. Another support dead. Arise still in this though, and Arise still picking up hero after hero. Now tries to teleport himself out, but will not be able to do so. Double kill for Mantis. And that is a tower successfully defended. Did force a buyback out from the Slark and the Invoker. I mean, that's something NEXT.kz did invest in. But they do force SSD back, and they get the kill on the Rise as well, of course, which is important. One thing to note is that, of course, VIII still did not die. I mean, he did die at some point, but he didn't die on the top lane just now, and he has his Desolator ready, so he's been split pushing top, and he's just going to continue doing that.
They do need VIII to start getting up and running here because it's becoming clear that NEXT.kz are turning this game around, and that was just a really well-timed bait. They had Invoker just sitting right out in front of them, and all of a sudden Equal jumps out from the tree and says, "Aha, I'm going to BKB, you're going to die now." He just starts killing everybody with Mantis as well, so, I mean, it's a bit of a good turnaround, so we'll see what they can do now. With the Desolator, though, it's going to be a lot, tougher to really, I think, take a fight, because SSD is going to do a lot of damage now, but we'll see as we're 24 minutes in. We've got a little bit of a better game than the last one we saw.
Oh, that's for sure. That is not only because of the lack of lag issues, but also because the teams seem just a lot more evenly matched. We almost have a Scythe of Ice on the Invoker as well, which will have a big impact on the team fights that happen. And yeah, NEXT.kz, as you said, they are making a comeback, and it's working out. Weaver, of course, still very elusive, very deadly, I'd say. And still has that Midas, so he's not going to be getting behind anytime soon. In the meantime, middle lane, we do have Equal in a lot of trouble. He's maybe able to do... Oh! Never mind, he's not in trouble at all. He just killed off a Rise and runs... No, doesn't run away to tell the tale. That one tree. And actually, the gem gets taken by Zai afterwards. Pounce away from Mantis, he'll be able to live through it. But, I mean, that wasn't even that bad. Demonic Purge, amazing coming in. Sulk! Oh, Soul Catcher, Sunstrike combination. Deadly. Zai, trouble, dead. 3 dead now on the side of SSD, 2 of which were cores, and that's worth it losing a Doom for. In the meantime, though, might not be worth it losing a tier 3 for, which is something that VIII is attempting to do right here. And with that Desolator, his pushing potential is very scary and very fast.
They have 1 TP, and it's on their Doom, who's dead right now. They're lucky that they were kind of close by.
Wow.
Otherwise, that would have been troublesome. Mantis is still chasing. Wow, he almost hit that blind.
Oh, he has a gem.
Oh, okay, never mind. Just kidding. He almost hit that with a gem. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, because the gem was up on the Doom, and then it was taken back by the Storm. It was come with meat gems to begin with, but it was taken back by the Storm, and that Storm died again as well, so the gem... He lands on NEXT.kz, it's just like switching sides. Come with me, by the way. Looks like he is going for a Scythe of Ice. He is actually not that far off. About 2k off.
I like that a lot. They need some lockdown up against the Slark especially, and even the Invoker, and even, of course, the Doom once that BKB is done, so that's a huge item. And sometimes you see Aghanim Scepters prioritize War on Chen. I don't like that as much. You already have a mech, you already have Hand of God, which is almost level 3. Might as well go for the, you know, the actual lockdown potential. So, with that, it's going to be huge. They'll take Roshan, which is a big pickup, and they need to because they're getting behind now. It's actually 21 to 24. And if you look at the graphs right now, it is still only 5,000 gold lead for SSD, and experience is actually at 4,000. So at 27 minutes, that's going to start being pretty negligible.
Yeah, that like it's all going to come down to positioning right now and having teleports or not, something like that. It's all captaining and just no, nothing to do with the farm. Not that much. Item choices though are important. Which item choices do the people make? Equal sitting on 2,200 gold. And we do have that Scythe of Ice ready. Let's take a look. Slark is actually going for... Well, what is he going for after all? I mean, I was gonna say BKB, but it looks like he might be not made up his mind yet entirely. Sitting on and an Ultimate Orb and an Ogre Club.
Yeah, I don't know what he's actually trying to go for here. I think he's just deciding he's going to go for 2 components of items. BKB might be a possibility. Sanjin Yasha, you can go for part of the Scotty. I think Scotty is going to be Ultimate Orb, but...
Yeah.
Oh, Mantis is... This is troublesome
Mantis
for...
is going for Come With Me. Come With Me mechanism is used. The Hand of God still there. And actually TPs are coming in. They want to try and fight this one. They have to be careful here. Equal. Has still got his Doom. Has still got his BKB. And it's a Mexican standoff. Let's take a look. Like the Wild Wild West. Arise and Bone 7 are advancing and zip in. Try to go for the Doom, forcing out the BKB, and now try to zip away. But Equal, he now knows he needs to fight, looks for the Doom, wants to find a good target for that, can't find it, and his BKB now running out. This could be SSD still going for it. They still send a Rise back, and the rest of NEXT.kz tries to run as well. Deafening Blast still going through. His Shadow Demon gets picked up by the Timber, so that's just bad positioning from Amazing. The rest of NEXT.kz indeed running away, teleporting out, and they indeed will be out of there.
Yeah, and Arise wanted to continue to fight, but sadly they were only able to get 1 pick off. Still, nice positioning. That was just positioning, I think, from SSD just being superior than that of NEXT.kz. And Arise just jumps in. He says, I forced out the BKB. I don't need to do anything too crazy. He jumps back out, and this is the Split Earth, and that's been really... That's the key, I think. If the Split Earth misses, you have a good chance of winning that fight. If not, you're probably going to die. And I think Reeves is probably the biggest factor in these fights. And you may not think about it, but that's a long duration stun coming out. And it can lock down more than one hero as well. It's a 2-second stun duration with a lot of damage as well as just, obviously, the AoE potential. So... we'll see what happens from now on out, as they actually look like they want to fight.
Oh, Courier! Flying through his eye. Hex up, doomed up, pounced up, and you're dead. That was, I mean, did you see the death animation on the thing? On the unicorn?
Yeah, Doom just kind of swatted at it. He's like, get out of my way.
And the animation is fitting so perfectly for that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But that was nice positioning on the side of NEXT.kz this time. And they do take a kill off the back of that, so their loss on the top lane is not as bad as it was before. Reeves, by the way, sitting on a 10-second BKB still, hasn't juiced it just yet. Same story for the Slark, who just finished that one. So, I think we're gonna have to wait until either SSD wants to try and burn their Aegis away, or until the next Aegis goes the way of someone else.
Yeah, I think the Aegis is... they're going to have to try to use that, but they've got to use it on their own terms, because every time they've gotten engaged on, it's been when they're out of position, and SSD just need to start thinking about 5 mana here, which they really can't, because they have to deal with Doom, they've got to deal with the Slark who's slippery, and BKB is on top of that. So they finished the BKB for Slark, that's what he picked up with his Ogre Club, and he's just got that Ultimate Orb for, no apparent reason as of yet, but that probably is going to be the start of something like a Scotty. But for now, Come With Me has his Scythe up as well on the other side of things.
Okay.
The game is still very close.
It is.
I don't know. It could go any way at this point in time. Like you mentioned, it comes down to positioning, I think.
Yeah, and then, of course, also comes down on who is the one to initiate. Which we already saw. Both teams are kind of almost reluctant to do. We saw Arise baiting out that BKB on Equal earlier, but other than that, NEXT.kz wasn't really ready to make the first move until that actually happened. But the thing is also, like, you don't want to fight if you're not sure that you're gonna win it. So the only reason that you would fight is if you know that all the odds are in your favor. And first of all, for NEXT.kz, that's not gonna happen unless that Aegis disappears, or unless they know for a fact that there's no way that they're gonna be having to deal with all 5 heroes of SSD for some reason. And other than that, they're gonna avoid fights. And I mean, that goes for both sides. SSD also don't want to fight because they already have lost a bit too much. I mean, they had this game, at some point they had this game pretty convincingly on their side, but they somehow lost their grip, so they don't want to give more away. It's no surprise, but they just, you know, they have to be careful. They're applying some pressure right now to the top lane, though. Maybe they can make something happen with, indeed, that Aegis that they have. Maybe they can bait something out and pick someone off and then go in, but we'll see. As Roshan will be back in 3 minutes. As that Aegis was just used, and the Doom gets taken down on the top lane still as well.
Wow, oh my goodness.
Zai doing so much damage here. Reeves still tries to go for the Split Earth, won't be able to do so though, goes down. Invoker gets picked up here as well. Gem on the floor, Mantis drop, triple kill for Bone7. Okay, that is gonna be 1 Doom dead. Meaning hunting season is open for SSD, and they've just taken out everybody. Bone7 with an ultra kill might be able to make it a rampage if he gets Equal here for the second time. Equal, who's trying to bash up on Zai. Zai will end up going down there. Probably one more hit. Level death will do the job. Mantis back in this as well. I bought back, needing to buy back because you can't really afford to well, afford to just let your base get picked apart. And that was just 1 Doom out of position, and instantly instantly SSD thinks we can fight now. They don't waste any seconds, and they get Mantis for the second time in a row as well. That's again out of position for NEXT.kz, and now again with only Doom alive, they can go high ground.
Yeah, they could try, and with Bone7 how farm he is, I wouldn't be surprised to at least do some damage here, and they might back off. They're actually trying to get a couple creeps, I think, for Come With Me, but they are actually going to forego it for now. And like you mentioned, I mean, they just spotted out a Rise in the mid lane, and NEXT.kz thinks, okay, we can fight now, we can grab this kill. They get the Aegis, then Zai comes through, and then when that's all happening, they lose Equal top because they have nobody to help them out there. They're all focused on a Rise mid. And then everyone roams through, and all of a sudden you've got Bone7, or excuse me, Zai TPing or blinking in, and then just doing so much damage.
Yeah,
and
that
Bone7 comes through and cleans up.
That was also a surprise blink. I don't think NEXT.kz saw that one yet. What, did they?
No, that's been around for a while. They know that was there.
Okay.
That blink dagger, so.
I just didn't point it out. Lincoln Sphere looks to be built by Come With Me, by the way. He has the interesting option to go for... Oh no, he has also got the Perseverance already. I was gonna say, like, interesting to go for the recipe first. But just needs the orb right now. 2100 gold to go. Crystal Maiden, 4700 gold in Pilot Eye's inventory. I mean, he already has a 4-staff. Could be opting to go for a BKB right now. He already actually
He's going
something.
for Lincoln's. It's an ultimate orb. He's going for Lincoln's, or maybe a Scythe, but I'd imagine it's going to be Lincoln's, same as Come With Me, because Scythe is good, but you're going to get doomed. Maybe. Then again, I'm not sure. Actually, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's fine. Either item is okay.
Well, there's already a Lincoln's on the Weaver, so if the other 2 Lincolns can be put on the Timber Saw as well as the Storm, who are you going to doom?
That's a good point.
That's actually, like, that would be very annoying, but actually very good.
Yeah, in this scenario, Doom is still a game-changing ability, so they've got to find a way to deal with it, and Link is one of those ways, so... Weaver is extraordinarily farm. Bone7 now finishes up his Daedalus, and I don't know, maybe go for, like, a Butterfly next, if you really want to. And well, I don't know how you kill him at that point then, or how you survive is actually a better point, because you're not going to live very long against him.
No, you're not. You are not. I wonder what would you suggest for NEXT.kz to do right now? Like, how are they going to continue this? Because obviously they are now back on the back foot.
Well,
by quite a large margin, actually.
They need vision on the map. If you look, it's completely blind for them, and that's something. Reeves might be getting farm, but they need to get him to have wards and to actually, like, put wards somewhere. And this is a good catch out against Bone7, but he's got a BKB.
Oh, he turns on his BKB. He's going to be able to kill off the Invoker and just run. No problem. Wow.
Did you see that first hit crit? That took out half of his health.
Yes.
So that's the thing. That's something that happens now. So, yeah, I mean, they need to get a gank like that, but actually kill the Weaver is what they need to do. They need to get vision and control, and then with that vision and control, they need to smoke gank, which is easier said than done when all of your lanes are pushed in. and you're losing like this much. But Zai is actually probably in trouble.
Yeah, he gets zoomed up, but he still got the Timber Chain up, so we'll see if Mantis can get a good pounce off, because that's what needed to be holding him in place. But Arise actually comes in to try and help, and the Hand of God is not going to keep Zai up though. And a Link is already popped now on the Storm Spirit. Looked like a Lincoln's was popped on the Storm Spirit. Oh, that was, yeah, that was Crystal Maiden's Lincoln's that was used.
Yeah, Pilot, I put it up there.
Yeah. I do like that. Yeah, I do like the massive amount of Lincolns. Yeah, that's a tier 3 down. No problem, Weaver will do that. And after what happened to Invoker, they can't really hope to do more. In the meantime, the Shadow Demon that gets picked up by Arise still was too long on the bottom lane. Split Earth comes out though. That's Weaver a bit overconfident, a bit naive as well. Nice Split Earth coming out from Leshrac again, by the way. Again.
That's 1,000 gold to the Leshrac too. So
he
just goes in. Halberd. Yeah, he's gonna buy the Halberd pretty much outright. So he just needs to finish up that Sanj, and he's good to go. So, yeah, that's you really don't need to give that away. And Bone 7 knows, I think, that he was a little bit overconfident, like you mentioned. So, Roche is up though, and I don't. Oh boy, Mantis.
What are you doing here, Mantis? I mean, Crystal Main is all fine, but looks like he's not gonna get the kill, or he is gonna get the kill, but he is also in a lot of trouble. Actually, he might be able to get Come With Me here as well. That is indeed the case. The Gem of Truesight drops, and in comes the cavalry right now that look for Zai. He's gonna get picked up as well. And this is huge. They just took down 4 heroes across the map. With the Weaver, of course, still being dead from the top lane, and he does have buyback if need be. But they can take Roshan right now. That is massive.
Yeah, and SSD should have backed right off there, but I think they didn't realize how long that BKB charge was. It was a 9-second charge. So they expected it to be over very quickly, and they just try to sit around and try to fight, and it just didn't work out for them. So in the end, that means that Mantis actually is able to take out a lot of those heroes. They grab the Aegis, and now all of a sudden, it's looking pretty okay for NEXT.kz, and they haven't even lost a set of racks yet. We thought this game was going decisively again for SSD.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. They still have quite a lead, but look at this. They're going after the 2-3s here, so...
Yeah, and they're... Like, how are they gonna fight? Weaver can maybe fight, but they still will lose their tier 3. Tornado will stop people from coming in, though. BKB turned on for Arise. He goes up for the Invoker. Now in comes Bone 7 as well. Turns on his BKB, and Mantis in some trouble, but he has a Shadow Dance. Will be okay. Split Earth! Up on 2! Crystal Maiden and Jen both bursted down. That was Leshrac, Split Earth, Reeves! I'm gonna call him the MVP, no matter if NEXT.kz will win this or not, but seriously, those Split Earths has been so on point.
They really have been.
Oh, Zai blinks in on 3. Whirling Death, that really hurts. It's already gonna be an Invoker dead, looking for more. Mantis still able to take down Bone 7, but he tries to run. Shadowblade might be helping him out, but no such luck. Gets picked off. The rest will try to run. They were able to take down the Storm, but everybody buys back. Storm comes back in, gets disrupted for Amazing to try and get out, but he'll still get taken down, but at least he chases the Timbersaw away. The rest of NEXT.kz tries to TP out, and looks like they are able to do that. They took down an entire lane of racks. They forced out buybacks. They will still lose the Invoker for the second time by the looks of it. Maybe he can actually run. Yeah, he can run.
He's pretty fast with Wex. He's got boots to travel too. There's no way they're catching him. He's got 425 move speed.
They bought back the Weaver, the Chen, the Storm Spirit, and of course Invoker bought back on the other side, but they got a Rax in return. That is massive. I credit Reeves.
I do as well, but I think a lot of that was just kind of throw territory from SSD with that last fight.
Oh, talking about huge. Throw territory. That's his base where he got... No, he does not.
So that's really not good, because now they have room to essentially just push this tier 3 bottom and take another set of racks here. And if they take 2 sets, I don't know what you can do. They don't have the most split push in the world. You've got a Chen, yeah. You got a Weaver who can get in and out really quickly, but like they don't have an issue prop, they don't have the right Dota that can keep them in this game. So this is most certainly throw territory.
Mantis get hexed. Actually, right now, at least Come With Me can hex. Of course, the previous fight he was Split Earth, so he couldn't hex, couldn't mech either, and of course Crystal Maiden couldn't really use their Lincolns either. So that was them done. And also that buyback on the Chen. Also make sure that he doesn't have his Lincolns for a while, because that was his money for the Lincolns gone. Let's see how much they can how far they can get with the well, with the double Lincolns up on Bone 7. He still gets hexed though. First dive into safety. The tier 3 tower is already down. Bone 7 back alive. He has got his BKB still as well. Will not be forced to turn it on. Still gets doomed and still gets taken down. Mantis is unstoppable. No buyback for him. Zai tries to make it back to base, but with the cold snap there, it's not gonna happen. Doom still gets the kill in the end, still hacks up on Mantis, but I think he's gonna be okay. He has a pounce by the time he gets back up. Freezing Field's not gonna hurt him. He's also not hurting Equal Forces back to Crystal Main. Crystal Main hiding under tier 4s. He's gonna get sent back home by the Chen. And there he is gonna die from the Shadow Demon poison. And that is gonna be 4 heroes. That is a GG. SSD will get taken down by NEXT.kz. What a fight from them. And oh my god, the little Shrek makes a comeback. New meta.
Yeah. The comeback was so well played from NEXT.kz. Equal and Mantis just got so farmed there at the end of the game, and it was amazing. No pun intended there, but a couple of misplays coming out. They had that game solidly in hand, and all of a sudden they couldn't. They got caught out of position one too many times. Arise on the Storm Spirit was very effective in the early game, not so much later on into the game. You could see he built an Orchid in the BKB, and that was it. So his farm really wasn't as good as it should have been in comparison to somebody like that Invoker who played very, very well. So with that, SSD is done, and just like that, quite a game to say the least.
I agree, and a good game to have a bit of a break after as well, because we have to wait until Fnatic is done fighting OSG in the Pinnacle Esports Cup. And when they're done, we're going to see how fast we can get the show on the road for Fnatic taking on the retry, which will be the last game for Fnatic. It will be the deciding game for them if they go to Kiev or not. So an important game. Worth it to stick around for, but if you want to open a different tab for watching that Fnatic game, I don't blame you, but do open a different tab so you don't have to leave. That's always good. And yeah, we'll be back here with Fnatic versus the retry as soon as possible. But until then, well, there's gonna be music. That's gonna happen. And yeah, we'll be back. By the way, outpicked or outplayed for this match? Because I actually outplayed, I'd say.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. I think the picks were fine. I think it's just outplayed. And it wasn't even really outplayed. They outplayed themselves at the end with the throws because they just needed to get more survivability, and I don't know, it could have gone anyway there, so.
Yeah. Brilliant game. Good game. Well, we'll be back just a moment, so stay tuned.